Well, greetings, Earthlings. How are we doing? Good. Let's see, is it evening? Yes, it's evening there in the UK. It's morning. No, it's not noontime right here. Just afternoon here. And I know we have Cornell with us.
I'm on the my baby.
Hey.
Hey. How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Hey,
good.
darling.
Hey, how my microphone sound?
Your mic actually sounds real good, man. Good to have you back connected to our show.
Thank you. Hey, sis, how you doing, Amanda?
I am doing good, sweetheart. Yeah. Buzzing. Glad to be back.
Definitely.
Yeah, we missed, what day was that? We had a holiday on Monday, I guess it was. It was Infamous People Day. No,
yes, it was.
Yes, definitely.
No, there's a new name for it. They were calling it Columbus Day when they realized that Columbus came over and to America, supposedly. I think the Vikings were here. First, Columbus came over to America and killed a bunch of people to get to where we are right now. And they said, why are we celebrating this? And they changed the name to Infamous People. Not Infamous People. What's the word I'm looking for? Indigenous.
Indigenous, yeah. Indigenous.
Yeah, and he killed a lot of people with a butter knife, right?
Yeah. So how are we doing? Wednesday, we have a lot to talk about today. We didn't get to do a show on Monday, so we're going to make up for that and go over some news items and things that happened here in the U.S. for the past, 4 or 5 days, and what's going over in the BBC. And also, we're definitely going to slice out time in this show to do something we've been putting off now for a couple of weeks and bragging about it, and that is going behind the scenes of the television show, The Addams Family. If you're old enough to remember that 60s hit show here, starring John Astin and Karen Jones and some other people, Uncle Fester and Pugsley and Wednesday and Cousin Dick and all those fine of The Addams Family. We're going to go behind the scenes and talk about some things that went on in the production of that, and maybe even talk about what some of those folks are doing now. I know John Astin, who is the dad, the guy is like 90-some years old now, about 90, and I know that the kids, Wednesday and Pugsley are grown kids, obviously, and Karen Jones died early. Some kids probably died at a young age. Sorry to hear that. But we're going to talk about The Addams Family after we hear what's going on in the BBC, right? So, Amanda, what's going on in the world? Wow,
it's crazy here in the UK, because we've still got this whole energy crisis going on, okay? So it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as people are aware, our energy gas prices have increased 250% since January, which is ridiculous, the cost. So basically, I watched a show the other night where this guy, informs people about how we can save money by all sorts of means, whether it's with solicitors, lawyers, your bills, mortgages, whatever it is, financial situation. He teaches you how to save money. So he was preparing everybody for this energy crisis, and he said on the show, I'm stumped. He said that, there's no advice I can give you right now other than don't do anything, because, of course, we got all these companies now sending all their little scouts round to everybody's houses saying, would you like to change energy provider to save you some money? And people are reluctantly, wanting to do it, but at the same time, they really want to do it because everybody is scared at how much this is going to cost us just to run our energy in our homes here. So, basically, there's a cap, okay? They've got a cap price on the energy prices to, like a minimum cap. So that minimum cap has gone up to £130 a month. Now, other people people here were generally paying a lot lower prices, like £80 a month for their gas and electric and that kind of thing. So this huge jump from 80 to 130 is very scary for a lot of people, as you can imagine. But this guy on TV was saying, look, the reason you shouldn't do anything is because if you don't do anything, the companies that have fallen off the market because of the COVID situation, they will automatically move you into the cap price. If you change to a cheaper alternative or go looking for a cheaper alternative, what people don't know is those cheaper alternatives jumped up in price to £170. So you'll be going from 80 to 170 by just making that cheap change. If you go to a more expensive company, you're looking to reach nearly £200 a month. So he's advising everybody, please, for now, don't do anything. The cap is for 6 months. So in April, that's going to be reviewed again. So the minimum price you will end up paying is £130. So, everybody's frightened about that. So that's a huge deal at the moment. And Russia has been targeted about this because they're providing a lot of energy for Europe. And Russia is denying that they're weaponizing the energy and gaining from this. So they said, Russia has denied using energy as a political weapon amid surging prices across Europe that have sent gas bills in many households. Households? Yeah, I nearly said mouseholds. So let's go with mouseholds.
I thought you said mouse traps.
Yeah, well, even that, yeah. So, gas bills in many households skyrocketed. Russia, one of Europe's biggest natural gas providers, has been accused of internationally withholding supplies, and President Putin said such claims were complete rubbish and politically motivated tittle-tattle. The European Commission has been outlining measures member states can take to combat rising prices. The wholesale price of gas has increased by 250% since January, triggering a knock-on spike in costs for consumers and businesses. Energy prices are record highs for various reasons, including high demand for natural gas as economies recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at a Moscow Energy Forum on Wednesday, Putin blamed the current crisis on Europe, saying that after a cold winter, Europeans had not pumped sufficient volumes of gas into storage facilities. He said it was very important to suggest a long-term mechanism to stabilize the energy market. He stressed that Gazprom, Russia's gas giant, was supplying gas to Europe at maximum levels under existing contracts and was ready to provide more if requested. We will increase by as much as our partners ask us. There is no refusal, none, he said. But, I think it's a bit of a ploy at the moment to try and put another pipe in, because they're looking to put another pipe in, another pipeline, which, of course, is going to be beneficial to them. So I think this is all aimed at getting that pipeline in so that we end up saving a lot of energy crisis here and in Europe. So I think that's the tactic here. And, he's claiming that it's not, but I think it is personally. So that's the biggest news right here. And we've got, police all over the news since we had that murder of Sarah Everard and how he abducted her and abused her and killed her. So, many female police officers are coming forward now within the police forces, and they're giving their account of the misogyny that goes on behind doors with, the men thinking they're better police officers than the women. They're like making little advances towards them and claiming it's nothing. Even some of the bosses there are laughing it off. So that's become a serious highlight at the moment in the UK news here. And I think, this is going to be under the spotlight for a little while because there's all sorts of things coming forward with women's safety and the police not being trusted now with all these accounts that are going on,
Yeah.
So
what is happening in the UK? That is just like, whoa, wait. Whoa,
Yes, it is crazy. Even politicians, we've got politicians that have been hurling abuse at various people. MP Claudia Webb made a string of phone calls in which she threatened to use acid and share naked photos of a woman, all because she was jealous of that woman's relationship with somebody. So, yeah. What is going on? What is going on? This is getting ridiculous.
You know, by the way, anybody wants to join us by dialing into the show, you can do so. We have 10 open lines right now, and the number to do so is 515-605-9888. That'll connect you with the show, and stand by a couple minutes, and we'll get you right in. You can also email us at andyandamandashow@gmail.com, and just send a note. Hey, I want to join you guys. Make sure you have a headset and a microphone and so forth, and you can join the conversation over the internet. Our website is andyandamandashow.com. We have a bunch of other social media that you can look for, all that kind of stuff on. It's Matic and Infodemic and Hotspot and Shot and TikTok and tattoos and all that shit. So whatever the platform is, I'm not obviously too familiar. You can join the show. We welcome you aboard. Again, 515-605-9888 gets you on the show. Hey, folks, you know what? We haven't played this game in a while. I think it's time we play. So let's see. We're going to play a little game here. We're going to see what's going on with what the people are saying. And it's that time again. We haven't done it in a while, so let's load it up here.
And now it's time to play What the People Say here on the Andy and Amanda Show.
I hear this a lot. There's a lot of anxiety and fear of the prospect of Donald Trump becoming president again in 2024. And I'll admit, if he was to become president again, it would be disastrous and the end of our democracy. But I've got some good news. Now, I understand this is my opinion, but I'm basing it on facts we know to be true. We know that Donald Trump's company was indicted. Now, that is the death knell for any company. His CFO was indicted. We know that Donald Trump had his hands in everything that happened in the Trump organization. He is likely to be indicted. Now, down in Georgia, he tried to overturn the election. There's video evidence, there's audio evidence, and there's documented evidence. He's likely to get an indictment there, too. And what about the insurrection? We have video evidence that he incited the riot. But he's probably tied in far deeper than that. And the House Select Committee, as they start interviewing and questioning people, a lot more is going to come out. So this guy is going to be so tied up in legal battles that he isn't going to have time to shit. And he's wearing a diaper, let alone run for president again. Now, a lot of people think the Republicans will gladly welcome him as candidate. I disagree. Donald Trump is and will be an even bigger liability to the Republican Party. All this information comes out. It's not going to make him look good. Some of the people in the middle will say, fuck that, I'm not going that way. They are not going to make him a candidate. Because come 2022, after all this stuff has been exposed, the Republicans are going to finally realize, oh, this is a problem because we lost a lot of seats. So after 2022, they're going to have to figure out a way to remake the Republican Party because they ran it down the shitter with Donald Trump. They're going to have to make a big recovery. So they're going to have to come up with a new, better, maybe younger candidate to even be in the running for the 2024 election. Lastly, Donald Trump's health. 3 years from now, Donald Trump will be 78 years old. He's got some cognitive issues, clearly, and he'll have some physical issues, too. I mean, the guy eats McDonald's every day. He's overweight. He does whatever he wants to do. If he's still healthy enough to run in 2024, I will be surprised. So, Donald Trump is not going to be president again. Put it this way. We got 99 problems in this country. Trump being president again ain't one.
Can you imagine if we didn't get hit by this freak, this total freak?
So Belgium is a beautiful city.
And let me stop you right there. It's a country.
You moron. Damn. Trump is stupid.
Here's what Donald Trump said yesterday about Haitians seeking asylum in the U.S.
Tremendous problem with AIDS. Many of those people will probably have AIDS, and they're coming into our country, and we don't do anything about it. We let everybody come in. Sean, it's like a death wish.
A death wish. It's a funny way of saying you're racist and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The same guy that allowed 500,000 Americans to die from COVID due to negligence will just go away. Like a death wish. Not even going to give him shit over his limited ability to speak. It's too easy. I'll admit, he's really good at scaring people with racism. I'm good at calling out bullshit. Haiti has a population of 11,577,863 people. 150K have HIV/AIDS. It's 1.3%. About the same as Russia, but he wouldn't say that. Means 98.7% of Haitians don't have AIDS. Like I said, easy.
Trump supporters, how low will you go?
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting, I want to make sure that everything is good.
You're there.
You have to dress. Is everyone okay? They stand there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So in response to me saying the economy is better under Democrats than Republicans, this guy says, the economy is better? You are nuts. No, I'm not. I'm not, sir. You see, every study that has ever been done on this has all said that. Yes, every one. You won't find one that says otherwise. GDP growth is nearly 2% higher under Democrats than Republicans. The average Democratic president creates 1.6 million jobs than the average Republican president. On average, unemployment is like 1.7% lower under Democrats than Republicans. Now, I don't care if it's Democrats or Republicans that have a better economy, really. But I was asked if the oil and gas industry does better under Democrats or Republicans. And I do care about the oil and gas industry, and the oil and gas industry does well when the economy does well. And that occurs when Democrats are in office.
That means they can do anything they want, and now we're going to get money because we want the money. The best is yet to come.
You moron.
Only on the Andy and Amanda show.
I was giggling in little places and was that conversation on there. You moron.
That, right? I'm like, oh my God. Hey, Amanda, check this out. Check this out. In the city of Philadelphia, where I was born and raised and everything, right? It's this area called Germantown in Philadelphia. And they have a rat problem going on right now that they can't solve. And the rats are running all in the streets and everything, and they can't even...
No way!
Yes, big rats.
Where's the Pied Piper? He's got to be around somewhere, right?
I think the rats ate him because they really didn't like that song. So they was like, these urban rats. So they like hip hop. So
just seeing
right.
that.
Yeah, right. So they kind of hear that shit.
Is this any better?
I've got this whole picture forming in my mind right now.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that is so funny.
Is this mic any better?
It sounds awesome, dude. It sounds great.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good to my ears, Andy.
I'm just playing with a bunch of microphones back here, having fun while you guys are, living it up, partying, Anyway, listen, no.
And everywhere thinking you were in the bathroom.
Hey, listen, we're probably not far off. I wanted to do, when I was listening to that, I was making coffee when that was playing, and I heard the guy say about Trump's cognitive issues in it, and I should have put in, right after he said that, I should have placed in person, woman, man, camera, TV. Remember that? Cognitive
yes,
test?
you.
That's exactly how he said it, isn't it? That's exact spacing. He said person, woman, man, camera, TV. Now, less little space. That's exactly how he did it. That was his cognitive test.
Yeah.
Just aced that, yeah. But, so that's going on. And also, what was it? We've talked about this. Guys, I used to be a pilot. That was my career, and that's what I went to school for and all that. And you get a gig, and it's a fun job. Not necessarily mentally stimulating for a whole career, which was my issue with it, but nonetheless a fun job. But anyway, I don't know if you guys have seen the headlines or read the news that Southwest Airlines had to cancel over 2,000 flights because pilots walking off the job because they're mandated to get vaccines and they don't want to. Not only Southwest, but this is going to start spreading to other airlines and other professions. So here is a very interesting, I'm like, when you go to school, you have to get, inoculated for smallpox, measles, mumps, whooping cough, meningitis, other things. Nobody complains. Oh, it's my freedom. My freedom. You can't make me get a tetanus shot. That's my freedom. It's my right to choose. I can die.
Yes.
That's my right if I want to die. Hello. Anyway, but not only are we talking, as we know, with the COVID vaccine, are we talking about protecting your own health, but also the health of others and your family and your loved ones and people you might run into wherever, So it's much more, as opposed to some of these other vaccines. Well, measles is much more 10 times the contagious rate of COVID, and we have no complaints about getting injected and inoculated about measles. Why don't you not do that and get measles and spread that to people? Why not? That's your right? Anyway, so here's a pilot. He's not identifying himself as a Southwest pilot, but I know that he is. So take a listen to this.
Okay.
I've been an airline pilot for 18 years, and now I'm facing an ultimatum.
Oh my goodness, an ultimatum? That is terrible. What are they going to do? Take your house, your land, your children?
I'm being told in order to continue my career as an airline pilot, I must be vaccinated.
Wait, I thought you said an ultimatum. That sounds like a choice to me.
Which really means I have to choose between putting food on the table for my family and my freedom of choice.
Let me see if I got this right. Take a shot. Keep feeding your children, keep your job, save other people's lives, including your own and your kids and your wife, or you cannot take the shot, lose your job, put your kids' lives in danger, have trouble feeding them. Oh, wait, Burger King's hiring up to $14 an hour, I hear.
We, the American people, have fought for freedom for 257 years.
No, for 257 years, we colonized this country. We killed the indigenous people. We stole their land and their children, and we continue to do so till this very day. We enslaved an entire people after we drugged them out of their homeland to this country. Oh, and we continue to beat them and kill them in the streets today.
We go around the world spreading ideas of freedom and democracy.
It seems you keep having trouble with being right. We go to other countries to colonize those countries and instill our beliefs in our religion and our government onto other cultures that don't want it. But, hey, to each his own, right?
You really put it in perspective there, the way you worded that.
Yeah. So anyway,
and I come back to this all the time with people as well, a choice. People say, I have no choice. Everybody always has a choice. It means that it's not a choice you're happy to make or normally willing to make, but it's still a choice.
Yep, it's still a choice. But this is, this is a devastating virus that's killed many and ruined many of families by losing their loved ones and friends, and just for the whole world, not just in the Western civilization, but around the world. It's been absolutely devastating to this planet, and there's a fix for it. We can fix it. We can make it go away just about entirely. And why one would say, it's not a matter of, if there are some underlying medical conditions that are dictated by a physician definitely saying you should not do this vaccine. Okay, I put that aside, and although I'd question some of that as well. But anyway, just because of how the biology of the vaccine and how it works, some physicians believe it or not, some physicians might not know how it works. They might think it's like a flu vaccine or something else where they actually inject some of the, dead virus into your system to build up an antibody network. That's not how this works, and we're not going to go into that now because we've done so in detail in the past. I don't feel like doing it now. But anyway, so some physicians might not know that. I don't know that for a fact, but it's possible, and that's why they might say to their patients that you shouldn't, take this, get this injection. Again, I don't know that as a fact, but it's possible. But the thing is that it seems to me, this is just my humble perspective, that most of the anti-vaxxers are anti-vaxxers not because of they're afraid or worried about the biological consequences of being vaccinated, of which there are almost none, but rather a choice to do so as a result of their freedom being infringed upon, and that's what scares me in terms of who we are, who we are as a people, who we are as a united world, as a planet that was so adversely affected by this thing, that we can all group together as one and make it, almost disappear. And the choice not to, just because of freedom being infringed upon, you've got to be kidding me. You've absolutely got to be kidding me.
Hey, Andy, you know what? It's so crazy that people are leaving their jobs because of this. They're like, yo, I don't want to get vaccinated. And how are you going? My thing is this: how are you going to be able to support your family if you're leaving a job that you've been there for 20 years? You was making great money. Nurses, you got firemen, you got police, you got doctors, you got everybody leaving just because they don't want to take the vaccination. I took the vaccination. There's nothing wrong with me.
Yep. We're all, everybody, I know one person who's a very dear long-term friend of mine who's chose not to get vaccinated. As a matter of fact, another friend who I know from this person was an anti-vaxxer. I shouldn't say anti-vaxxer, not like this, like, I'm not my freedom. She never seemed like that. Just said, I'm just not going to do it.
Hey, Andy, I think you just created a shirt for the people that don't want to get vaccinated.
Anti-vaxxer.
Anti-vaxxer. But she chose not to get vaccinated and ended up getting severely affected by COVID and survived and changed her tune. And everybody who we know, I think, unless, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but everybody associated with our show has been vaccinated. My whole family has been vaccinated. All my friends, except this one, have been vaccinated. I'm fine. Oh, and I read this morning, by the way, and put this out here too, that if you have been inoculated via the Pfizer vaccine more than 6 months ago, go ahead and get a booster. You can call your local drugstore, pharmacist, doctor, bam, doesn't cost anything. Go ahead and go in there and get this little this booster shot, and you're good to go. For those of you who have done the Modelo, then you are not Modelo.
I'm definitely waiting because I took that one. Me and Amanda, we waiting, right?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Tell me, please. Moderna?
Thank you. Moderna.
Moderna. I say Moderna. Oh my God.
Moderna. Yeah. I got the not Modelo. I keep doing that. I got Modelo on my brain.
That's a good
Moderna.
thing.
I'm a Moderna dude. Are not yet approved for a booster. And here's the deal with the Moderna.
Oh no! What we gonna do? We gonna delete our job, Randy?
You normally get 100 milligrams. Excuse me, not 100 milligrams. 100 micrograms.
Oh my God! You doing a Nirvana?
Whoa! What the hell is that? What the hell is that? You get 100 micrograms of mRNA in each of the two vaccines. And it is very, very long lasting. There's no evidence right now that you need a booster, although they are saying if those little watchdog that sit external to your cells that are looking for this invasion don't see it, after months and months and months and months, they kind of say, I guess they don't need me anymore, and they go away, or they weaken, which would lower your susceptibility rate from a 95% to maybe 85 or 90 or something like that over months, where the Pfizer vaccine takes you down after 6 months from 90% to 80%. And if you get that booster, bam, you're right back up there again. With the Moderna, they
are saying you might not need. Although if you've already received a booster, you said, hey, it's been 6 months or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and call CVS or wherever and just go ahead and get another vaccine. And when you do that, they don't even ask.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your card. They've done the third shot and you're out of there. They don't say, is this a booster? They don't do that. You just say, I want my vaccine. You go and get it. But anyway, and that can't hurt you. So if you received a Moderna a booster, which will be the equivalent of the original first 2 shots, it ain't going to hurt you. It ain't going to hurt you. But what they're saying now is that maybe that Moderna booster, when the approval comes from the FDA, should be 50 tons. 50.
Oh my God, this sounds like a well.
50. Should be 50. What did I have to drink this morning? Let me think. A couple of vodka.
We you know what? We're talking about vaccination. I hope people are like, hold it. That's what it does to you.
It feels like your arm
not
weighs
taking
50
it,
tons.
right?
I'm just going ahead of myself here. It's 50 micrograms. And some of the people who've gotten or received a booster have said their arm felt like tons of. What I'm saying is their arm felt like a lead weight. Like, oh my God, I can't lift my arm. Whoa. And that's for a day or so. If you get that side effect, I didn't get any side effects, but 50 tons of Modelo. That's what I want. Hell yeah! Back it on up. Come on back. Right here.
Come on.
Right here.
Come on.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. So, Cornell.
Yes.
How's the wife doing, man?
Oh, she's doing awesome, man. She's riding around and just, I'm home. I mean, I'm in our studio right now, just, on the Andy and Amanda show. Hey, did you hear what I talked to Amanda about previously?
Let me think.
About the Germantown Rats that's taking over Germantown in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
Is that a rock and roll band?
No, it's real rats. They have they have rats. They have a bad problem in Philadelphia.
Tickets on sale Monday, 9 a.m. The Germantown Rats. Woo! Rock on. No, so Germantown Rats, yeah.
Yeah, they have a problem. They can't control the rats in Germantown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Germantown rats. Do they have an accent by any chance?
They might have. Actually, I seen them dancing down the street.
Fantastic.
Hey, Amanda.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, darling.
Do you like to dance?
I do. I really do.
Venus.
Am I any good, Nick?
I like my hips to be held, and I like to, so I can still move back and forth and, work it, twerk it.
Oh, that's my baby right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about working it and twerking it, and I'm not sure how good I am at it, but,
Or TikToking it.
TikToking it, yeah.
Isn't she romantic? You are very sexy. You have a very sexy voice, Amanda. Very sexy.
Well,
Thank you. You do. I can just be here on 8,000 miles away. We've never met, folks. We've never met. 8,000 miles away and just listen to your voice all day long. Just very...
Oh, that's so
You could just
sweet.
read me a poem, and I'd sit in my outdoor lounge or my hammock, and you could sit there and feed me grapes and read me poetry.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like something.
And fan you at the same time, right?
Yes. That sounds like something Caesar would do.
Exactly, yeah. I can just see it now, the hair all up in curls, the flowing gown.
And he had the crown and everything. As soon as she don't feed him, he'll feed it to the lions. No.
Yes. Feed me my grapes, woman, or you shall go to the lions.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kimball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Trump, a guy was talking about Trump before. He was known for that.
And the fact that I will have by the end, more than 300, first term, think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Isn't he? He be busy. He be getting busy. Oh, yeah.
I like that. He be getting busy. He be getting busy.
He be getting busy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That White House, they're rocking and rolling. Hell yeah.
That guy. That dude. I don't know.
Unreal.
What are we going to do with him?
Hey, I gotta say this.
Okay. I'm bracing myself.
I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Wait a minute. I gotta say something. What was it?
I don't know, darling. I don't know.
I got it. I was down, because there's a news story I want to talk about real quick, and it reminded me of something I actually witnessed myself. And,
okay.
Go down to the Southern California shoreline, around the coast, which is not far from where I live, and not far from our coast to coast. What's wrong with me today? Andy and Andy show. Andy and anyway, our show studio.
You might as well say Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy Studios. You would see about 55 right now, about 55 big freighters from 700 to over 1,000 feet anchored off the shore from Long Beach up to LA, even south of Long Beach. Anchored as far as you can see. Anchored. Because during COVID, the Pacific Rim manufacturers who manufacture computer chips and other accessories and clothing and goods, consumer goods of all textiles and technology and even automobiles and so forth. You get the idea. Loading with huge train boxcars of freight and goods, and they come into the port from the Pacific Rim. They come into Long Beach or Los Angeles. They offload into trucks and make their way across the country. And during COVID, these manufacturing plants weren't doing anything, obviously. No one's buying anything. Manufacturers their employees weren't coming to work. Everything came to a halt, as we all know, just about anyway. And suddenly when restrictions lifted and masks and vaccines and so forth, okay, we got to get back to some type of civilization here and get things rolling. Well, they did. They all loaded up their big freighters at, almost at once in terms of the macro scale of things, and sent them across the ocean, which takes about 7 or 8 days. And there's only room for 1 or 2 freighters to come into port to offload with these big cranes at a time. And you've got, at one time, 78 ships out there. So that put a standstill to a large part of the economy in the United States, because as you drive around to car dealer lots, there's no cars. Car manufacturers aren't getting the chips they need for the technology aspects of production. Computer companies and so forth, nothing shipping over here. Things are shipping here. They can't get offloaded. If you want to swim out to a tanker and find what you bought, go ahead.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so it's just unbelievable. And what's happening? There's a global supply chain crisis now, which is another spin-off of the havoc that the coronavirus has placed amongst our society, our worldwide society. Not just the fact that injured and killed many people, but also the effect that this thing's having and it has had on our global economy. There are container vessels and trucking companies that move goods around the world that are now horribly congested due to a rapid rebound in demand for goods. And consequently, as we know, we've talked about the stock market a lot on the show, especially our Friday shows. The stock prices, the investment value of a lot of these companies that are manufacturing has really been doing pretty well, up and down, but on a steady climb upward. They're manufacturing, they're producing things. Companies are ordering from them, but we can't take delivery of those goods.
Right.
So there's been a huge disruption in global supply chain, and it's getting worse. Ahead of the holidays at all times. We're talking about shortages of some products and delays and higher prices for consumers because economics 101. You increase demand, you reduce supply. What happens to the prices?
That's true, Andy.
Yeah, very much
because
so.
my mother-in-law, she's living on Savannah, Georgia, and they said it's like they can't get no chicken wings or something like that.
Wow. Chicken wings. Hell,
chicken wings.
I'd protest. There's a video. Speaking of chicken wings, there's a video of a bunch of I'm an atheist Jew, being Jewish, so I'm not being derogatory here. But there's a video out there.
Makes 3 of us. No, I'm just joking.
Cornell is too. I'm sorry, Cornell. I know. Excuse me for that. Yeah, Cornell and I are both Jewish, so I'm not speaking.
And Amanda.
Well, I'm too honest. That helps.
So you're Jewish. Anyway, Oh, I got to tell you a funny story about this. I got to tell you. I'll get back to that in a second. But anyway, so there's a YouTube video, or it's a TikTok. I forget. You probably find it on YouTube of a bunch of elderly Jews outside of New York Deli with like people, protest. We've seen Black Lives Matter and anti-police and this and that and insurrection protests and all this stuff. There's a whole bunch of elderly Jews, must be 80, 100 years old, holding big signs outside of New York Deli, protesting the cost of pastrami. We want lower pastrami prices. We want lower pastrami. That was just so funny. Oh my God! I would have joined them. I would have sat right there. I would have done a live interview on the Andy Demander show of some of these guys. We're right there with you, man. We need. But also, I should also tell them that you can probably try vegan alternatives. Did you ever try vegan alternatives? Do you know the taste of vegan meats like the Beyond Impossible burgers and Beyond sausages, and when you see that word ahead of a meat product, it means it's vegan. Beyond this, Impossible that. Burger King has the Impossible burger now. It's vegan. I've been barbecuing some vegan meats. I got to tell you, it is in honesty, every bit as good as any, gourmet burger or whatever you might want to call it I've ever had. I mean, they're really, I don't know if it's soy based or tofu based or.
I think it's soy based. I really do.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. But good, vegan alternatives. We should do a. Remind me, guys. Let's do a show on vegan alternatives. Like we should do a show.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, that would be great, man.
Healthy.
And guess what, guys? We could put the when Andy or Amanda, when you cook it, we could put it on the Andy and Amanda show TikTok and show you how to cook vegan food.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
That'd be cool. Are you guys ready for behind the scenes?
Just
yes.
Real quick.
Sorry,
yes, I want to get to behind the scenes, but I just want to say real quick, just in summary of my concern about shortages and what might happen to our economies ahead of the holiday here and people's. Just want to say that President Biden is now delivering himself. He's going into delivery business on Amazon Prime.
He's delivering himself.
That's what it says. President Biden is delivering.
Ooh, look out, people. You may get a free Biden product.
Oh, my gosh. He's doing a little Nas X.
It's President Biden. I thought I'm talking about the disruption in global supply and blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at my next card because it says President Biden is delivering. I'm thinking, what? But it continues to say President Biden is delivering remarks on his administration's efforts to address global transportation bottlenecks. He's not delivering himself.
Oh,
I thought he was going to help the global supply chain by start delivering Amazon Prime or something. You know what I mean?
Hey, Andy, I'm waiting on mine right now. Hopefully, it's him.
Hey, Amanda.
Yes, darling.
Let's wait a minute. Let me see if I can get. We're talking about behind the scenes of one of my favorite shows growing up here.
Yes.
And
my crush is on this show too.
It was an amazing show, incredible in production.
I can't follow the logic on that at all.
You'll see why.
That dude is wild.
But yeah, we've been putting off the our special behind the scenes episodes here on the Andy Demander show of some famous, well known, respected movies and television productions for quite some time. And I think we should get right into it here.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're altogether ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see 'em, they really are a scream. The Addams Family.
Neat. Sweet. Petite.
So get a witch's shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
Take it away.
love
before
it.
you do, I want to introduce a caller who's been on our show before. Welcome back, Lisa from I think North Carolina, right?
You got it.
All right.
Hey, Lisa, buddy, how you doing?
Aboard. You're just in time to hear.
All doing good, sweetheart. All doing good. Enjoying the show as usual, but it's great to have you back on, darling.
Yeah, I've been listening. I figured let me call in for a few minutes, see what you guys know.
Bless you. Well, we were about to share the behind the scenes for the Addams Family show. Was you a fan? Did you used to watch?
Yeah, not too much, but because it was around, when I was younger. So
yeah.
I like that's the, yeah. I think most people from that era watched it. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I did watch it.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, well, if everybody's ready, shall I dig in?
Yes.
Yeah. Please.
Alrighty. Okay. So, a bit of background. So, in the fall of 1964, ABC debuted a series that introduced viewers to characters that were creepy and kooky, mysterious and spooky, and altogether ooky, but they were also funny, oddly charming, and very likable, right? The series was The Addams Family, a television show based on Charles Addams cartoons. To the normal characters who came in contact with the clan, the Addams Family might have seemed extremely strange or scary, but the inhabitants of the mansion at 0001 Cemetery Lane saw themselves as very close, loving family with very normal interests. Well, normal to them, right? The television series was not as dark as the comic strip, which is interesting, it was based upon, as the show would place emphasis more on the kooky and less on the spooky. Unfortunately, ABC cancelled the show after just 2 seasons, but its legacy is still being felt today, as we all know, with more than 50 years since it was first aired. The show has been seen in syndication off and on since the original run ended in 1966, and both seasons can currently be streamed on Amazon Prime Video, which is very cool. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? So the Addams Family characters were actually nameless in the original cartoons. So it was the cover of Charles Addams' 1954 collection, Homebodies, featuring the Addams brood posed before their haunted mansion that captured the attention of David Levi, the former vice president of television programming at NBC, who had begun to produce the show independently. Levi remained faithful to the cartoonist's distinctive sense of humor. Addams eventually agreed to Levi's idea, but the cartoonist had little role in the direction where the series would go, except for one thing. Other than Cousin It, who was just called It, none of the characters in Addams' cartoons had names, so he was asked to name them for the television series. The one character he didn't name was that of the daughter. It was up to a novelty company, Aboriginals Limited, who were manufacturing tie-in Addams dolls to coincide with the launch of the show, to come up with Wednesday for the little girl. Based on the poem Monday's Child, John Astin was given the choice of 2 names for his character. He's the guy who played Gomez. And he selected Gomez over Rapelli. Much to the disappointment of Charles Addams, who preferred the latter. The son's name, meanwhile, was originally going to be Pubert, but it was changed to Pugsley because Pubert sounded too sexual or dirty. The name Pubert was later used for the Addams family's 3rd child, who was made debut in 1993's Addams Family Values. Yeah, I remember that baby Pubert. That's so funny. Yeah. Okay, John Astin, so we just covered him. The guy who played Gomez, nearly played the butler. After appearing in a film called The Wheeler Dealers, produced by Filmways, John Astin negotiated a contract with the company. When he met with the assistant to the head of Filmways, Astin was told about 3 projects: the film's Americanization of Emily and The Loved One, and a television project involving Charles Addams cartoons. He could only be on one of the projects, and although he wanted to do the Americanization of Emily, James Coburn ended up playing the key role. The television project was the one likely to be produced first. When he first met with the show's executives about possibly being the cast for Addams Family television show, he was offered the part of the butler, who was originally the main character. The actor had doubts about his ability to play the role, which he expressed to the executive producer, David Levi, at a follow-up meeting. Levi agreed that he shouldn't play the butler, then offered him the part of the husband instead. When Astin accepted, the focus of the series was changed. In 2012, Astin told a reporter for the Baltimore Sun that Levi had described the show to him as a father knows best with other people. That's pretty interesting. So Caroline Jones, who played Morticia, was Charles Adams' personal choice to play Morticia. Yeah, she was fine.
That was my baby right there. That's my crush right there. Keep talking, Amanda.
I heard it took her 2 hours just to do every episode. 2 hours just to make her up for that role. 2 hours.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So, once Astin was cast as Gomez, the hunt was on for the actor to play Morticia. The producers pursued Barbara Steele for the part, but Steele, who was living in Rome at the time, wasn't interested in returning to the United States to do a television series. Creator David Levi wasn't happy with any of the actors that had tested. It was her estranged husband, Aaron Spelling, the couple were in the midst of a divorce at the time, by the way, who alerted her that the producers were looking for a Caroline Jones-type Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Bachelor Party in 1957, but was frustrated that she hadn't really been able to move into leading roles. But then, Spelling told her the series was going to be based on the cartoons of Charles Adams. Joan was already a fan of Adams' work. He appealed to her snob instincts, she said later, and had even met him on film set one time, a meeting that didn't go smoothly as her poodle, Contessa, bit him. Still, Adams was eager for Jones to accept the role after she agreed to do the series, and the cartoonist sent her the telegram that read, "I know you will make a darling Morticia, but please leave Contessa at home." The two would quickly become close friends, and Caroline believed that her large, bulging eyes, which she had once hated, were the reason she got the part. That's interesting. What do you boys think? Do you think her eyes won her over? Or was it her early figure?
She was, the hair that she wore? The hair?
Oh, you think it was the hair? Okay.
No, I think it was the dress.
Okay, so John Astin and Caroline Jones. Yes. What, darling?
Yeah.
You were going to say something? Oh, okay. John Astin and Caroline Jones were attracted to each other. So John Astin has admitted that he and Caroline Jones were immediately attracted to each other, but kept it strictly professional. They used their personal chemistry to give Gomez and Morticia a grand romance as an antidote to the virtually sexless parents then common on television shows. In an interview for the Television Academy Foundation, Astin said that while he and Jones have different comedic styles, those styles blended very well. There's a playful sexuality between Gomez and Morticia, the kind you wish your parents would have exhibited, said Andrew Lipper, the Tony Award-nominated composer and lyricist, Broadway show of Addams Family. Here I am watching reruns after school every day of a beautiful couple who lets you know it's okay to touch. We used to do joke promos for the show where I'd say, "My wife and I are best adjusted couple on television," Astin told the Baltimore Sun in 2012. I think we influenced the tone of the 60s with that kind of freedom and warmth, peace and love. But the fact that Gomez and Morticia got obviously excited about one another was something the studio got letters on, which was kind of stupid. In James Plant's biography of Jones, her stepdaughter, Deborah Green, was quoted stating that Jones had complained about Astin always trying to upstage her and hog the camera, but people Plant's interview had worked with Astin and Gomez on The Addams Family denied ever having seen any tension between the actors. So, okay, on to the next. Caroline Jones' Morticia costume took about 20 minutes to get off. So you're right, darling. It took a long time for this process. Caroline Jones and costume designer Nolan Miller wanted a unique costume for Morticia that was both comical and sexy. Miller said that Morticia's outfit was the most difficult one he ever had to design. The dress was very tight, especially around the feet, but had Velcro up the back, allowing the dress to be open so that Jones could walk around when she wasn't on camera. Reportedly, there were 30 identical dresses made. In a backstage interview, Jones said that between her wig, which was made of real human hair, makeup and costume, it took her about 2 hours to get out of everything. The dress alone took around 20 minutes. Holy moly. I think I'd give up after 5.
Yeah.
Be like, no, that shit's staying on. Ken Weatherwax and Lisa Loring were not allowed on set when there were scenes involving the family's pet lion. So Ken and Lisa, by the way, are Pugsley and Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
Wednesday's hot. Have you seen her? Do you see what Wednesday looks like? You look her up. She is hot.
Okay.
Very, very hot. She's got nice American
form?
Yeah, form.
Yeah, form. Named Kitty Cat, the Adams' pet was in reality said to be a retired circus lion, although there was a trainer named Steve Martin on set, not the actor, I don't believe. The people running the show were very careful and tried to keep the set as safe as possible in any scenes involving the lion. In fact, the actors playing Wednesday and Pugsley were not allowed on set when they were shooting scenes with the lion. To minimise the danger to the cast, they filmed the scene of the lion coming down the stairs just once, then they reused the footage when needed. Aww. That's pretty cool. Okay. Lurch wasn't meant to speak until Ted Cassidy ad-libbed "You rang" in his edition. So originally the character of the butler...
You rang.
Yeah.
That was all ad-lib. That was not in the script. He
just
did that on his own.
That's right.
It was a hit. Yeah.
Originally the character was not meant to speak or only groan or grunt. But when Ted Cassidy ad-libbed the line, I'm getting so tongue-tied. In his edition, in the scene where the family rang the servant bell, it went over so well that Lurch was rewritten to speak on occasion. Cassidy's character became so popular that the writers eventually came up with episodes that centered around the character, such as when Lurch's mother comes to visit.
Hey, Amanda, you know Lurch, every time I wake up in the morning, I look just like him.
I don't believe that for a second, my darling.
That's why I don't say his name 5 times in the mirror.
Oh, that sounds like some cool shit. Lisa Loring learned to memorize lines before she could read. So Lisa Loring was just 5 years old with limited acting experience when cast in the role of Wednesday Addams. She learned later that she was chosen in large part because she looked like Carolyn Jones, who was to play her character's mother, Morticia. She was so young that she learned to memorize her lines before she could read. According to Loring, at her audition, the executive producer, David Levi, read her lines to her, and after the second time through, she was able to repeat them back to him. She later did a screen test, and Levi and John Astin chose her for the part. As of October 2019, Loring is one of the 3 surviving cast members of the Addams Family television series. The others are John Astin and Felix Silla, who played Cousin It. And since she wasn't allowed to smile, as Wednesday, Caroline Jones would make her laugh in between takes. So Wednesday's Addams name is a reference to the nursery rhyme Monday's Child, as I covered, which contains the line, "Wednesday's child is full of woe," because of her character was supposed to be morose. And adult Lisa Young explained in an interview that she was never allowed to smile while on camera, which she admitted was very strange for a young child, but in between scenes, Jones would do something to make Loring laugh. She also doesn't remember anyone teaching her the steps for the infamous dance scene. So in season 2, episode where Lurch's grand romance, Wednesday attempts to teach Lurch how to dance so he can impress a woman he is interested in. She tells Lurch that he needs to learn to dance so that his date won't think that he's square. In recent years, a clip of this scene that is up on YouTube has gotten more than 2 million views. In an interview she did at a 2018 Silicon Valley Comic-Con, Lauren said that she didn't really dance like that as a kid, but couldn't remember if a choreographer or someone else had taught her the steps. She also doesn't oh, no, I copied that twice. Ignore that. Wrong information. So, the next one is Ken Weatherwax was allergic to the clothes the costume designers made for him. So Lil O Pugsley, who played the quiet one on the Addams Family, came from a show business family. He was the nephew of a 30s film star, Ruby Keeler, as well as the man who worked as Lassie's trainer. Prior to being cast on the Addams Family, he had become a familiar face on television due to a series of commercials for Gleam toothpaste. His health issues caused some issues on the set. He was allergic to a multitude of things, including 100% wool clothes the costume designers made. So his mother bought the clothes he wore on the show. Oh, bless her. Lurch Hey, this might help you feel better, Cornell. Lurch got fan mail from teenage girls.
Really?
So, apparently so. It says, Lurch may have been a man of few words, but that didn't keep him from being a hip with the ladies. Ted Cassidy got
so he had
a
the
lot of fan
Beatles
mail.
effect, huh?
Oh, yeah. They obviously like the dark and mysterious type.
Yes. That's me.
Yes. The pockets of Gomez's suits were lined with asbestos. Oh, my goodness. So, in the television series, Gomez Adams is often seen holding or smoking a lit cigar, which he then often put in his suit pocket in order to protect him from getting singed. For the other costumes having roles burned in them. The show's prop masters, I know, right, lined the suit pockets with asbestos. Although the character occasionally smoked in the original Charles Adams cartoons, he became a heavier smoker on the television series. That's probably because he was around, Karen all the time. He's like, oh, all this sexual tension, I've got to release this anxiety. Astin was a cigar smoker in real life and thought it would be a good character quirk for Gomez. We never wanted Gomez to use a short cigar, Astin told Stephen Cox. It wasn't elegant. If we got to take 2, 3, 4, and the cigar ash was getting too long, I would have to light up another cigar. He makes a fair point.
Yeah, they would have been
okay.
Knock it off!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have just 2 more little bits of information to go. So, John Astin's son, or sons, would ask him to put on his eyes and scare them. So, in 1964 interview he did on American Bandstand, Astin said that when he came home one night, still wearing his stage makeup, which caused 2 of his sons, who were 3 and 5 at the time, to scream and run away. But when they saw him the next morning without his makeup on, they asked him to put on his eyes and scare them.
Oh my gosh.
Bless them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The last bit of information is members of the cast said many of the quirky props were taken from the closed set when the show was cancelled. So one of the parts of the lyricist Addams Family theme song goes, the house is a museum when people come to see him. And in a way, that set that served as an interior of the Addams' home was a museum. The stage was furnished with a variety of unusual pieces, such as a harpsichord Lurch loved to play, and a large stuffed brown bear, which was really a polar bear, painted brown by the set designers. In the commentary included on the DVD of the television series, some of the cast members stated that when the news broke that the series wouldn't be renewed for a 3rd series, many of the props were taken from the closed set. The whereabouts of those props reportedly remain unknown. One prop was not taken was the wicker chair that Morticia was often shown sitting in. The producers gifted the chair to Caroline Jones, who kept it in her bedroom for the remainder of her life.
They also gave her her hair. He gave her that was made of human hair. Yeah, they gave her that too. Yeah,
that's so cool. Oh, bless. Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big monster the stairs used to lift up, and there was a great big monster that would come out of the stairs occasionally, and they'd have guests over.
Yeah, you talking about Thing? No, that was
no.
The
Big monster. The stairs lifted up, and a big roaring monster he lived under this main stairwell of their house.
Yeah,
so it was a big dinosaur lived on. I don't remember that, but anyway, that was my great grandmother. Anyway.
Hey, Andy, I knew you had stars in the family. You always try to hide stuff from us.
And, there's a lot of spin-offs. Those spin-offs, and some of the actors of the Addams Family got to do some of the voices in the animated spin-offs that happened. And, and of course, you've got Pugsley Addams died at a heart attack at 59 years old. He's no longer with us. The girl who played Wednesday came back. She became addicted to heroin in 1991. And went to rehab and came out and got some small bit parts in 2011 or so, but is pretty much, you don't really see much of her anymore. And of course, Mr. Gomez Adams, what's his name again? Ted Cruz? No.
John Astin.
John Astin, I'm sorry, I couldn't think, John Astin, who lives in Baltimore now in his 90s, has come back here and there to do some Addams Family when they've done like the movie recreations and so forth. He'll do a voice where he comes back and does an occasional acting part. But he's most of them are almost the whole. I think Wednesday is still with us. John Aston is still with us. Uncle Fester died. Jackie Cogan. Uncle Fester did. He was a silent film star as a kid. I think he was part of the R gang, and he went way back into silent films. Interesting story about this guy. I want to talk about this for a second. He made, at the time in the 20s, he made quite a bit of money in those days as a child actor, and his stepfather, mother, squandered those funds away, and he would later sue them and won. And a California law came into effect called the Cogan Act. And for any parents out there or of would-be kids who want to get into acting, as my oldest daughter was before she was 18, still a minor, something called the Cogan Act. And what that means is that you own, as a kid, as a minor, you have to go to a bank with appropriate paperwork from the production facility and your parents' signature and everything else. You go to a major bank and you open up what's called a Cogan account, or Coogan account, I guess how you pronounce it. And they don't, and those accounts you just can't go in and open up one. You have to have the appropriate paperwork accompanying your role as a child actor or as a minor. And what it does is when you get paid from production, at the time, the minor only is eligible to receive 10% of the fee until age 18.
Really?
So my daughter got some parts at 15 years old, 16 years old. And matter of fact, did some commercials with some NBA players, and I forget, did an award show. I forget what it was. Anyway, but so when she became 18, she played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. No, I'm kidding. She no, but she got that account. It was she went to a bank and said, "Hey, here's my birth certificate. I'm 18," and bam, the account was closed, and she got the money. So, but that's how that works. And also, talking about minor actors as Wednesday and possibly so many others, as a minor, you're required to have, I think, when you're on a full day production, you need to have, I think, 4 or 3.5 hours of tutoring, academic tutoring on set. So that means production has to hire a licensed teacher, a tutor, to guide these kids through academics, so they don't lose anything while they're, working as an actor. And when they go back to public school, if they go back to regular school, some very few actors who are minors go on to a career thereafter. But they do. Many of them go back to school and college and pursue careers. Some acting, many not. But when they go back to public school, they are not left behind, academically, because they spent 4 seasons on, whatever the movie might be or TV show.
That's why. I mean, I feel for them. That's a lot of work, isn't it, for a child actor to, they're trying to do all their lines and get these parts right, and then they've got to worry about schoolwork as well at the same time. It's just, wow. Very heavy load for a child.
It's a significant amount of work. It is. And the guy who played Lurch, that was his defining role. He's no longer with us either. He died at a young age of he had a benign tumor on his heart that had to be removed and passed away of complications from that. Yeah. And
was he really that tall, Andy?
Yes, 6'9". 6'9".
Please.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost 7 feet.
That's very tall. How tall are you, Cornell?
4 feet.
6'9". I told you I wasn't.
We represent the Lollipop King.
I'm a lucky elf.
I'm gonna look like that stood next to Cornell because I'm 5'7". So I
love that. I love that height. That's like my favorite height for a girl.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. We got to talk. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, Andy, how tall are you?
5'9". Exactly. I'm exactly 5'9".
That's nice.
I'm the shortest of the crew. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, I'm 6'9", so Oh my gosh, Andy took it the wrong way. 6'9". I'm going back to 6'2".
I see.
I'm going back to 6'2".
Hey. Woo-wee. Really? That explains
Okay.
it, Cornell. This guy had more women. Oh, excuse me. Anyway,
That's why, right? He was 6'9".
He's full of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some other things I wanted to get to in the news we'll talk about on Friday's show. And also I want to talk about Friday's show because not John Aston, he's Adam's family. Joe Richmond will be joining us.
Yeah.
It was trying to get John Aston to come on the show.
Yeah.
He lives in Baltimore. I heard he's approachable. Guys, crew, let's powers that be, let's try to get him on the show. And I'm sure he'd be ready to come on and talk to us. Let's make that happen. Let's get John on the show, talk about the Addams family, some other things. Why not? What he's doing now, his career, some experiences that he had in filming the Addams family. I'm sure he'd be delighted to come on a program and we'll make that happen. So let's do that, and we'll announce when that will happen. It'd be great to have him on. And also, we're going to bring Mark Lester back. We've been talking about that for a long time, and he's been on my mind. And what he's doing now, he played the role of Oliver when he was 8 years old, and has gone on to become very successful as an orthopedist in Amanda's hometown, the Carter.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, and actually spending, because he's on quite a while ago. My God, last winter. And he said, yeah, I'd love to come back on, and been in touch a little here and there, and we wanted to do that. Now, not so much talk about the movie Oliver, which of course we have to a little bit, but talk about what he's doing now, and maybe provide some advice from our callers who might have low back pain ailments and other things that he can address. So
I think he's been traveling a lot from what I've made out from his Twitter account, because the last communication I had with him, he said, we'll arrange it, and, he was going to get back to me. But I can chase him up and see. But he's definitely been traveling around a lot.
Yeah, I know they're coming back over here. He and his wife are coming here for over Thanksgiving. They're going to Texas and then up to Vegas, and they're flying into LAX. I was going to try to get together with them actually in LAX and say hi and hang out, pick them up at the airport or whatever they might need while they're here, and they go to Texas and then Vegas and back to UK or something like that. I don't know, but we got to follow up on that, Amanda. We got to follow up on that.
Absolutely.
He's a great guy. But some things I want to talk about that we didn't get to today that I wanted to do is the lingering discussion on the federal budget. As we know, we're about to have a catastrophic event where the United States would default on all of our loans.
Wow.
Which when Mitch McConnell was the majority leader in the Senate, he had no issue extending as many times, I think up to 30 times, the entire length of the Trump presidency, and refused to do so when Biden took office, and which has caused that issue, that roadblock. Since, of course, there's no way, and McConnell said this when Trump was in office, there's no way we're going to default on government loans. Well, when Biden took office, I'd like to play those clips back to back and see what he said when he's a minority leader and there's a Democrat in the White House. Unbelievable. He doesn't, they don't, the GOP, not holistically, but for a large part, or what we see anyway, isn't concerned about education, isn't concerned about infrastructure in the United States, about catching up with some of the other parts, Western civilizations, and other more advanced civilizations in the world in terms of bridges and railways and airports and infrastructure and education and and medical care, and it goes on. They care about one thing, themselves, and they're afraid of Donald Trump to this day, where Donald Trump has no more right than any citizen does. He no longer has pardoning power. He's walking around and giving rallies like he's still president. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I want to talk about that federal budget being extended in our next show on Friday. And again, Trump, we'll play some clips of what Trump's been saying. He went to Iowa last Saturday and had a rally. And of course, a lot of people left. There weren't all that many people there comparatively, but he's still running around the country claiming that the election was stolen from him. And we all know the truth behind that. Unbelievable. And as also, we need to dive into a little bit more that the record number of 4.3 million people quit their jobs in August, which is evidence, of considerable evidence of the workers have on today's economy and what's going on in the world.
Yes.
4.3 million people. 4.3 million people quit their jobs in August. Florida.
Wow.
Florida, there's a county in Florida that's being sued by Florida for enforcing vaccine passports to the tune of $3.5 million. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And I don't know how many people are following the tragedy of Gabby Petito, that adorable, energetic, bright 22-year-old that was murdered while on a trip across the country with her supposed lover and boyfriend, who's now disappeared. And the boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, has not been officially accused of her death. She was strangled. He was the only one she was with, and innocent until until proven guilty. But we can all draw our own conclusions and assumptions. But anyway, the cause of her death, which is not told just this week, it was a homicide, and they said the homicide was in fact by strangulation. So, following Gabby Petito's tragic death and her demise and her trip across the country with this guy, we'll talk maybe more about that on Friday. Also, as I said, Joe Richmond is joining us on Friday, former coach of the Washington Generals, the team that tours with the Harlem Globetrotters and gets beaten by them every game. And also part of the Harlem Globetrotters organization, at one time an ambassador for the Philadelphia 76ers NBA basketball team. And now that NBA is opening up, it'll be great to have Joe Richmond back on the show again to talk about some highlights of the upcoming NBA season. Also, he, being the sports expert that he is, yes, he's that's what he's been doing his whole career. And we're going to talk about that's what he's been doing. But we're going to talk about the National Baseball League. The playoffs are underway right now, and there's an incredible series that is taking place between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. Of course, I'm in LA. The Giants are up north. Both teams at one time were early on until 57 were in New York. The Dodgers were the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Giants were the New York Giants, and so was the New York Giants football team, who remains there. And they've been rivals ever since. And when they moved to the West Coast, the Owners Association at the time said if both teams must move to the West Coast, if one team doesn't, then the deal's off. They have to stay where they are in New York. And both teams agreed to move to the West Coast. They've been rivals ever since. And there's an amazing, amazing baseball series going on right now. Game 5, the final, is on Thursday evening on TBS. And it is at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, whatever time that is in the world. If you have a pulse, you need to be watching that game. Even if you're not a baseball fan and whatever, it's been exciting as hell. I got to tell you, you got to watch these two teams play on Thursday night, again, 8 p.m. on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm sure it'll be broadcast around the world. You've got to catch it. And that's what's happening here, and we'll talk more on Friday. It'll be great. And we'll also, of course, we'll see what the stock market's doing on Friday. We'll talk more about the AMC show, what's going on with that, or should I say AMC shit show, as the case may be. What's going on with that stock and other stocks. What I've been doing, AMC's, we don't really care what the value of the AMC stock is. We'll talk about that, but we want to talk about the short squeeze as predicted, and that's going to make a bunch of people a lot of money, supposedly. Talk about that. And that's about all she wrote, I think, for this Andy and Amanda program on Wednesday, October 13th, 1. We want to thank everybody for joining us. Amanda, Cornell.
Yes,
Cornell.
Yes.
For those of you Cornell wasn't properly introduced. People saying, who is that man? Who is that guy? Cornell introduced Amanda and I. Yeah. None of us have ever met. It's kind of a mystery how we're doing this, 18 months later, and 300 some shows later. None of us have ever met. We're broadcast around the world on Internet Talk Radio. Again, the number is 515-605-9888. And go to our website, andyandamandashow.com. Anything I left out here, I think, but I think that pretty much done all the plugs I need to plug. Hey, Amanda, did you see that promo, the video for the show?
Yes, my darling, I did. Great job.
Yeah.
So we invite everybody to tune into this video promo for the Andy and Amanda Show, wherever you might be. I don't know what medium it's on or whatever, whatever you call those things.
It's like two of y'all, you and Amanda. I'm like, okay, which one I'm gonna put on Tuesdays? I'm like Devil and David. Both of them are great. I'm like,
We both produced one at the same time, darling.
Yeah,
I know.
Telling Andy.
That was crazy.
I called Cornell. I said, "Hey, I sent you an email. I'll make sure you got it, okay? A video." And he said, "Yeah, Amanda's video." I said, "No, what? What? Amanda's what?" You and I, Amanda.
Yeah.
It's frightening how we are and we've only known each other on the radio. We've never met. It is absolutely frightening how in tune we are. It is. I should say frightening. That would be the Addams Family. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's mysterious in a way.
Yes, it is, because when Amanda, texts me her video that she did, and then Andy called me, "Did you see the video?" I said, "Yeah," and he was like, "No, the one the other day." I was like, "Hold it. Well, what's going on?"
I know. I literally had an email come through afterwards after I finished editing it, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" And I checked it out. I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
I'm like, "Okay."
Like, it is just, our same thought processes, our same take on the world and life and politics and things, and humanity and social justice and physical things. Well,
how do you say it in the urban community? Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.
No.
Nay.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
My name is Shanae.
Oh, you boys. So funny. Crack me up.
So what, he doesn't like you behind?
Yes.
Pardon?
Not behind me.
I was going to say, behind what? Excuse me? I'm just panning over my shoulder right now.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is crazy how in tune. But we all are, in a sense. I mean,
yes.
There's so many occasions that, Cornell has messaged and I've been like, yeah, I've just been thinking the same thing, and and you guys, well, not quite that, but
You know what's so crazy? When Andy did that, right? The sound came and I got up out of my seat and made sure. I was like, hold it. I'm like, hold it. I thought I left the stain on my seat. I'm like, hold it, that's not me.
Yes, leave the skid marks for the road.
Yes, definitely. It's called wipe your ass so you won't have skid marks.
You talk about these things, and
it's going down very rapidly, really rapidly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. Would you like us to raise the occasion? Yeah, I do. Wow. It's been a great show coming back as our first show this week. It's been so much fun, right?
It's been.
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
Yeah, there have been.
Oh,
we're here. Yeah, there is. Yep.
Oh, my boys.
Is it? Is it
okay to take an orgasm?
Oh shit!
What?
Whoa!
We'll leave.
Is that a question for us or just our listeners?
Our listeners, really.
It's a question
yeah,
about Lurch.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it on Friday.
Lurch.
Lurch. I gotta get some Lurch clips in here. Oh, I've definitely got to get some Lurch clips in here. Oh yeah.
So I guess for Lurch, if he's faking an orgasm, it's kind of the groans he does, like. Okay. If he's actually achieved it.
Yeah.
If he's actually achieved it, it'd be like, you ran!
Yeah, right? He probably do it like this. And then when they achieve it, he be like,
squeal like a pig.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh man, I was going to say there. So I guess we're back Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. When's Daylight Savings Time? Anybody know when that is by chance?
No, actually.
I think the Japanese are involved here.
We'll have to ask them then. Yeah. Yeah, we need to know.
The main thing is to get plenty of advice.
I'm trying. I asked when is daylight savings time. I'm looking for people to tell me when it is. I guess we don't know.
Okay. Let's have a look. I can find that out for us right now.
Because we should. That'll change our.
But when people are pounded night after night, it naturally shakes their confidence.
Wow. Where's the beef?
That clip always gets me every time. It's just so funny.
Yeah.
I can't stop laughing. I laugh like it's the first time of me hearing it.
Perhaps what happened is that what we did brought it about.
Okay, it says you want to know for the United States, so...
No, I want to know for the world.
No coordination, no nothing.
Yeah, I want to know for the world. Yeah.
Well, daylight saving time started on the 14th of March, 2021, and it ends on the 7th of November.
Oh, so we get some time. Okay, bad enough.
Yeah, we got some time.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, guys, I guess we're about to wrap here for this Wednesday. Yeah, and
hey, love it.
Hey, you know something? Lisa's been patiently listening in on our nonsense here. Lisa, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God! Thank you, Lisa.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my God! You ran.
I would have hung up.
Lisa.
I would have hung up a long time
said
ago.
Donald Trump is a genius. Putin
I would have hung
called me
up
a
in the first 2 minutes.
Vladimir Putin.
I'm so sorry. I actually sent Lisa a message on WhatsApp whilst we were still on there saying, thank you for coming on and speaking to us on the show.
Yes.
And I didn't realise all the while she was on the line.
Lisa, thank you for coming on. We'll say it in person, guys. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. That's something for me to be quiet, hey, Mandy?
Sorry, what's that? What?
It's something for me to be quiet for 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a rare occasion, people.
Yes. That was kind of when we was like, is Lisa still on? She say yes. I'm like, huh? Oh my God, you didn't even watch it. No, I'm just...
Yeah. Well,
the craziness of us.
When we're quiet, Lisa, when we're
Republicans love it.
Yeah.
Hey, for now, I'm from New York, so I'm from up that way by Philadelphia, where you guys are from. So
yes. I can tell by your accent. You have a New York accent.
Yeah. I was laughing when you're talking about the rats, because the sewer rats in New York. You know how they can.
Oh my God! Tell me about it, man. I was in New York one time and I seen a rat. I was like, oh my gosh, is that a rat or is that a dinosaur?
The rat. They are overtaking New York.
We're going to do very well. We've done a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the biggest rat. Know what I'm saying?
Yes. Definitely.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Dirty rat.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard there's an issue with the rats. We should follow up on that too, because I've just learned about that from Cornell. That's wow, that's something else. Yes.
Well, talking of rats. Yeah, go on.
No, I want to say also, I forgot to mention this, because I want to get this back on the show too. I had a scammer.
You want to get the rat back on the show?
I do, a rat. He's a scammer.
Oh,
claiming to be the United States, claiming to be the U.S. Social Security Office. And I was able to almost patch him into the show, to create a show yesterday, and I lost the dude, but I want to get him back on the show. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll play another episode of Catch the Scammer. You guys are from, if anybody is aware, senior citizens that might be listening wherever you are in the United States, or I don't know where else, but I guess U.S., they call and impersonate a Social Security person saying that there's a lien on your Social Security account, that there's been fraudulent activity on your number, in Texas. And cars have been bought in your name and thousands of dollars, and drugs have been sent, and they're putting a lien on your account, and you've got to go to Target, get a gift card, and of thousands of dollars, read in the back of it, and that'll quiet the whole thing. I don't know how they do it, but I played along with the guy yesterday for quite some time. But I just want to put that alert out there. If anybody gets a phone call from somebody claiming to be the IRS, claiming to be Social Security, claiming to be anybody from the government whatsoever,
yes.
it's a scam. Hang up on them or just have fun with them like I do. Just know that there's no, don't give any information. I give them a wrong name. I give them a wrong social security, four digits and blah, blah, blah. I don't give them any real, they ask for your bank accounts, how much you have in each account. I make up bank names. I make up amounts. I made myself a multi-millionaire yesterday. Now I'm in the Portuguese Bank of Omaha. Oh, really? How much do you have in there? Let me look. I went along with this. Let me look at my Portuguese Bank of Omaha account here. Here it is. It says I've got two accounts. I've got one that has $468,000 in an IRA, and I've got another one with my savings, which is just my expensive money I use. That's got $3,200, and I've got my checking account that has $9,860. Any other accounts? Any other accounts that you have? Yeah, I've got another bank account at the Lithuanian Bank of Nebraska. And let me see what I got in that account. Give me all this. And he's taking it down. And he's taking it all down. How do you? I said Lithuanian. What account? I said the Lithuanian Bank of Nebraska. I can give you their website if you want it. No, that's okay. Just tell me how much you have in there. Okay, I have. And I was having and why this is happening, I'm trying to create a show to get him on the show. I was, trying to get, and I asked him, I said, and then he says, are you near a store? I said, I'm near lots of stores. What stores are you near? I said, God, I think, I know Rite Aid, CVS, Target. I know some of these stores because I know where they have gift cards that they want you to go to get a gift. So he says, go to a Target and I'll wait on the phone with you. I said, can I call you back from a different number, meaning my show number, get on the show? I have a cell phone I keep in my car, and since I'm driving to Target, since I have another number in my car, I'd rather just call you back on that phone, meaning our show number, right?
Yes.
And so he said, what's that number? I said, the number again, it's 515-605-9888. Number again, 515-605-9888. And so then he waits a couple minutes. He says, who's Amanda? I said, that's my wife. That's my wife. What you asking about my wife? That's Amanda. Oh, your wife.
Wow.
I said, yes. And she shares those accounts with me. So if you got a message when you called that number, that's who that is. And she says, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a radio host. Oh, you are? I said, yeah, I'm a radio host. I was about to say, as a matter of fact, you've been a guest. But it was on my cell phone. I couldn't, I wanted to follow up on that. As a matter of fact, you're on live right now. Welcome to the Andy Demander Show.
And they were like, yo, what the fuck?
You're the dean of comedy. You're the greatest. You're the elder statesman of humor. You deserve attention and respect.
Thank you. At least somebody says so.
Yes.
Hey, we got to go. Let's talk more on Friday. Let's pick this up on Friday. We'll talk more about all the things we're talking about. We can go on for a long time, but we won't. We got to cut out of here before internet radio turns us off, which has happened before, and we don't want that to happen now. So let's get out of here. Lisa, thanks for joining us, man, and call back on Friday. Listen in. You're welcome to call back. You're welcome to tune in anytime, Lisa. You're a great friend of our show. We welcome you anytime, and thanks for getting in touch with us. And Cornell,
absolutely, darling.
Our show coordinator, this wouldn't be happening if it weren't for you. This whole show would not have existed if it weren't for you. And thank you very much. It'd be great to have you back on board again. And Amanda, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, y'all the best, man. Y'all know. You know what, guys? Don't worry about listeners.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I mean, what Andy just said, he's definitely going to edit that out. So you're not going to hear it on the podcast.
Anyway,
my goodness.
So I guess we should get the hell out of Dodge here. Yeah?
Yeah.
So Amanda, why don't we'll see everybody Friday, again, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, wherever time zone that is around the world. One new country came on board with just a few listeners, but they are on board. It's the country of Estonia. I don't know anything about them, but welcome, Estonia.
Ooh, welcome.
Thank you. That's where Lurch live at. That's where Lurch live at.
Yeah, we're back up. We dropped a country, but we're back up to 23 countries. Russia is not on the map anymore, so I don't know what happened there. But anyway, we are back.
Funny.
So we were down to 22. We're back up to 23 now, which is
Thank you.
Okay.
Are we clear?
Oh my God.
Are we clear?
So grateful, guys. Thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Aww. Bless them.
Amanda, get this to head off the show here. Take us home. We'll see everybody on Friday.
Okay, absolutely. So, on behalf of Andy Kimball in California, Hollywood, myself, Amanda Love here in the UK, thank you to Cornell Butler, our awesome coordinator, for joining us. We love and miss you when you're not here. And thank you to Lisa for calling in and joining us and staying silent for nearly half hour while we did the show. But more importantly, thank you to you guys, listeners, for, supporting us and listening and keep showing up. We truly appreciate you and love you, and thank you for being here with us. Catch us on Friday for some more fun. See you then.
I want to give that number out again one more time. You're calling on Friday. It's 515-605-9888. Feel free to vote. All the best. We'll see you Friday. Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Welcome.